Hello, this is Robotnik from the Map and Mods team for Forged Alliance Forever. In this video, I will show you how to make a basic mod for Supreme Commander Forged Alliance. This tutorial is meant for beginners, people who have little to no experience at all writing mods for the game. And as such, people who have some experience doing this will likely gain nothing from this tutorial. Firstly, to make a mod, you will need Supreme Commander Forged Alliance. In fact, this is all you need, but I would recommend having something like 7-zip for parsing zip files. And I would also recommend having a better text editor than Notepad. Something like Notepad++ would be good. But again, not necessary. All you really need is the game. In this tutorial, I will show you how to modify things in the game. I'm going to use units as an example. Specifically the Mech Marine. But of course you can apply this to anything in the game, and I will show you how to do so, or actually I will describe it to you. Now we shall begin. So first, you're going to want to open your File Explorer. You're going to want to make sure that you have hidden items turned on, and file extensions. These two things are important later on. Firstly, well, no, not firstly. Firstly was this. Next, you will want to move on to going to your mods folder. To do this, you go to Documents, double-click My Games, Gas Powered Games, Supreme Commander Forged Alliance, and then Mods. This will bring you to your mods folder, where all of your mods that you've downloaded through Supreme Commander Forged Alliance are typically put. To boot, well, to start your mod, first you're going to want to right-click, go down to New, and make a new folder. And then write the name of your mod in this folder. I've already done this, and as such I'm going to use that folder. In this mod I will show you how to make a Mech Marine damage booster, which will increase the damage of the Mech Marine's weapons. Alright, now that you have your folder, you will want to create a modinfo.lua. This will tell the game about your mod. To do this is a simple process. Simply right-click, go to New, create a text document. We'll call it, doesn't really matter. Then you'll open the text document, go to File, Save As, and then type mod_info.lua. I already have one in this folder, but doing this should create the file. If it doesn't, you can just... No, it will. Don't worry about it. Next, you're going to want to open this file. And you're going to want to put these things in it. You're going to want the name, which of course is the name of your mod. You're going to want to put a UID in, which is the unique identification for your mod, so that the computer can tell your mod apart from other mods. Next is the version number. This is the copyright. Put yes if you don't want people to copy it, and no if you don't really care. Next up is the description, which will describe your mod. The author, which is you. The URL, which could potentially link the user to a description of your mod somewhere else. I'll have to check what this means. I don't know offhand. Oh, this probably has something to do with whether it has dependencies or something. Don't worry about this, just leave it as false. You don't usually need it. And this is UI only. If you're going to modify like units in the game, then you would set this to false. Basically, a UI mod is something that only affects the player who has the mod turned on. Like for instance, if you had Supreme Scoreboard, that doesn't affect the game itself, merely affects what the the user can see and gives them a couple extra useful things, but it doesn't modify the game as a whole. Mods that modify, say, the way the game works itself or units are not UI mods, they are sim mods. And if you're writing something like that, this should be set to false. Another way to think of it is this. If everybody in the game needs the mod to play the mod, then this should be set to false. If only one person needs to have it, then have it set to true. This is the conflicts. Conflicts refers to mods that your mod will not work with. Take, for instance, 2 mods that modify the amount of damage that the Mech Marine does. If you know your mod will conflict with some other mod in this manner, then you should put the UID of that mod here, so that the computer will know to not let the user run both mods at the same time. Alright, now let's fill in all of this information. The mod I'm going to make here is the Mech Marine damage booster, so I will call it that. Next is the UID. The way you should do this is you should generate one. You would do this by opening up your web browser. Well, we're going to use Microsoft Edge. Doesn't really matter what you use, of course. You're just going to look something up. And then you're going to look up UID generator. The first thing that'll come up is this site here. Just click that. And then it'll generate one for you, completely random. Then you select it, copy it, go back to your mod, and then put it in the parentheses. Bam. That's easy peasy. Next is the version. This is the first version of this mod, so just leave it as 1.0. Next up is the copyright. I don't really care if people use this, so nah. Next is the description. This can be brief, or you can write a lot about your mod. I'd recommend being brief with this. If you want to include a long description of your mod, you should put like a README file in your mod, which we can do that later. So in this I'm going to write boosts the damage of the Mech Marine. Oh, that's Much Marine, that's not Mech. Mech Marine. Probably want to capitalize that actually. And you know, just do what you would do for stuff other people are going to read over. Make sure you know everything's spelled right. And then for author, I recommend not actually putting your real name because you don't want people to know that, really. Instead, put your FAF username or whatever people know you by in the community. So for me, it would be this. Yep, so that's my username. And I don't have a URL for this mod, so you can just leave it blank. This mod will modify a unit, so leave this as false. There's probably a ton of mods that also modify the Mech Marine, but for the sake of this video, I'm not going to hunt all of them down and put them here. Usually, don't worry about this unless you know there's some like big popular mods that your mod will conflict with. Also, this is just an example, so it's not likely that I'll ever run this again with anything else. But you do this. You do this. Then save it. Then we'll move on to the next part. Alright, in this segment, we're going to get everything ready to mod. So first, we're going to decide what we want to mod. In this case, we want to modify a unit. So we need to decide what unit we're going to modify. So an easy way to do this is to open up the FAF client and then go over to unit database. I want to modify the Mech Marine, so I'm going to scroll down to the Mech Marine and then hover over it. And then in the bottom left, below where it says Mech Marine Light Assault Bot, there's going to be a little ID there, UEL0106. That's what the game thinks of the Mech Marine as. That's what it is to the game. That code obviously has meaning, but I won't explain that here. Just remember what the unit ID for what unit you want to change is. And for the Mech Marine, it's UEL0106. Alright, next. Mech Marine damage booster. You're going to want to create a folder called hook in here. Just do that. Easy peasy, just new folder hook. You're going to go into here. Alright, and now we're going to go somewhere else. We're going to come over here to game data. Game data you can find if you installed it through Steam. Just go to Program Files, x86, Steam, Steam Apps, Common, then Supreme Commander Forged Alliance, and then game data. Just soak that in. Yep. This is your Supreme Commander folder. Go to game data, and then this is everything really. This is where all the stuff that you would want to change is. Now let's take a moment and we want to look at what's in here, because obviously the Mech Marine's a unit and it will be in this folder. So we're going to copy this to some temporary destination, this temporary folder here, and we're going to put it here. Now units.scd is just a renamed zip file, so you're going to want to click it, rename, and then rename it to just units.zip. Easy peasy. And then you're going to want to extract it, as I've already done. So then you're going to want to go into units. So this is your units folder. Everything that's in the game is in here. So we're going to want to tell the mod what we're going to modify. So when the game goes through to look for the Mech Marine, it goes into units, and then it goes looking through to that UEL0106. So likewise, in our mod, we're going to go back to the hook folder. And in that hook folder, we're going to put a folder titled units. And then we're going to want a folder titled UEL0106. We could do things like this, or we could do this the easy way. Now, since we did just extract that units folder, we're going to go into that. Oh no, not this units folder. This one. And we're going to go down to UEL0106. Click the folder, right click, copy. And then here we are back at our, not our temporary folder, we don't want to be here. We want to be in our units folder in our mod. And then you're going to want to paste this here. Because when the computer loads up this mod, it's going to look in the hook and be like, alright, it's changing a unit. Alright, it's changing something about the unit in this folder. And now here we are. Now we're just about ready to change the Mech Marine. But before we do so, I'm going to explain what all these different file types are. These SCA files are animation files for the unit, various levels of detail. This DDS file is it's a direct draw surface or something like that, and it has all the textures that'll be wrapped around the unit when it's created. More animations. And then there are these SCM files, which are model files. You know, pretty self-explanatory. And then there is this script Lua thing, and this unit.bp. This is what we're going to be changing. Alright, this next step I'm going to do is not at all necessary, but is probably a good idea if you plan to use this with FAF. So, since we got all of these files from the original Forged Alliance installation, it's not gonna... all of these units are gonna be not the current balance, basically. Some units will be maybe more expensive, cheaper, more powerful, less powerful. That's why I'm going to get a more updated unit blueprint file from the Forged Alliance installation. So to do that, we're going to open up the File Explorer, and then you're going to want to go to this PC, program your local disk, and then in here there'll be this file called program data. This is why we enabled hidden items before, is that we can see this because it's in this folder, which is by default hidden. So we're going to go in here, we're going to go and do FA forever, and this is the FAF mod, basically. FAF in and of itself is a big mod, so we're going to go into game data here, and then with 7-zip, I mean, you're going to copy this file here somewhere else, extract it, rename it, extract it, you know. I'm not going to do that here because you already know how to do it. So I'm just going to open it, come down here and grab the Mech Marine real quick. Put it in that temporary destination. I should have that ready. Jeez. Here it is. Just going to come over here, grab this Mech Marine and put it over there. Inside is contained this nice up-to-date blueprint. Alright, so let's just delete this one that's currently in our mod because this one is outdated. None of the animation stuff has changed since FAF happened, so don't have to update any of that stuff. And I'm just going to plop this blueprint right in. Alright, this has concluded the unnecessary step. So now, you're going to want to open this unit blueprint. Now, since I want to boost the damage on the Mech Marine's gun, I'm going to want to look for where the weapons are. Now, a blueprint, it should be pretty easy to read. This audio section here just calls what sounds the Mech Marine makes at certain points in the audio banks. This is some old, outdated Veteran C system stuff. This is the categories the unit falls into. It's a bot, it can be reclaimed, it's a direct fire unit, Tech 1, land, mobile, UEF. You know, pretty self-explanatory. These are the defense stats. I'm going to assume you can read, and I'm just going to skip down here to the weapons section. Alright, here's the weapons. And here is the first weapon. Now, the Mech Marine only has one weapon, so pretty easy. This is it's called the Tomcat machine gun. Of course, anything you want to change about the unit, you can just change it in here. So here we are. This is the thing I was looking to change. Okay, so it does 7 damage per shot. I don't like that. How about 10,000? You know, I mean, obviously fair and balanced, right? And then save it. This is how you change units. This is the simplest way. So now that I've changed the unit, I've done just about everything I want to now, so I'm going to give it a test run. Mech Marine damage booster by... Yep. So let's go to the play tab in FAF. Double click FAF. You know, just pick a nice map. Really doesn't matter, but this one's really nice. I like it. I'm gonna host it. Alright, sorry about that. Now let's give it a test run. So go into options. Pardon me as my game almost crashes doing this. And then you're going to go to mods here. And then you're going to want to scroll down to your mod. The one, of course, you want to choose is Mech Marine Damage Booster. Okay, and then do whatever settings you want to test it. I'm going to just make an AI, then give the Mech Marine a shot. Then you just want to spawn one in. Easiest way to test a unit. I'm going to turn off game sounds actually. not a good idea to have those on. Now we're gonna spawn it in over here and give it a shot. Alright, yep, that's the desired result. That's 10,000 damage per shot. Yep. That's, works. That's exactly what we wanted, so. Quit out of it. And once you know it works, you can, then your job's basically done. I mean, that's really all there is to making a mod like this. But let's say, in order to explain the concept here, this is just really easy to do. Like, let's say you wanted to change something in addition to a unit. Pretend it's in, like, pretend you wanted to change a projectile, like what the Mech Marine fires. You can do this in a similar way. The game's gonna look from this point. It's gonna be like, alright, we want to change some projectiles. So in the mod, just if you want to change up a projectiles, and then go about it ultimately the same way we went about the units. So yeah, that's the end of this tutorial. I mean, if you wanted to, you can apply what you want to know. Like, you can apply what you know to these other situations pretty easily as well. It's just you might require a bit more knowledge of Lua to do anything more than just changing up units. Happy modding, have fun. If you need any questions answered, just send me a message, or, well, no, comment on this video. Yep, have fun.